Two athletes who train together nearly every day just showed the world that this race can no longer be predicted with confidence. Sha'Carri Richardson and Melissa Jefferson-Wooden share the same coach, Dennis Mitchell, and train out of the same base in Central Florida. They do the same workouts, and they've stood together on relay podiums. But on July 4th, 2026, at the Prefontaine Classic, they lined up in neighboring lanes as direct competitors, and what followed made it clear that nobody can call this event with certainty anymore. The day already carried historic weight before the starting gun fired. The United States was marking 250 years of independence, and for the first time, the Prefontaine Classic fell directly on the 4th of July at Hayward Field in Eugene, Oregon. Both women arrived with legitimate claims to the win. Richardson and Jefferson-Wooden had raced each other 14 times since 2023 across the 100 and 200 meters, with 5 of those meetings coming in Diamond League competition, where Jefferson-Wooden held a 3-2 edge. The two had also anchored Team USA to relay gold at both the 2024 Paris Olympics and the 2025 World Championships, and earlier in 2026, they had clocked a practice relay split of 41.7 seconds together, quicker than the winning time in Paris. Richardson's connection to this particular track goes back years. As an LSU freshman in 2019, she won the NCAA title at Hayward Field in 10.75 seconds, a mark that still stands as the American under-20 record. She later won back-to-back national titles there in 2023 and 2024. At the 2023 World Championships in Budapest, she took the 100-meter gold in 10.65, added a 200-meter bronze, and helped the relay team to gold. In Paris in 2024, she earned Olympic silver in the individual sprint and gold in the relay. Then 2025 turned difficult. An injury in February derailed her season, and as the defending world champion, she finished a disappointing 5th, stumbling out of the blocks. She later said that nothing could really stop her except herself. This year brought a turnaround. She opened 2026 with a win at the LA Grand Prix and ran 10.77 seconds on June 22nd, her fastest time in almost 2 years. Jefferson-Wooden's case for the win was just as strong, which is exactly what made the race so hard to call. Her 2025 world title came in 10.61 seconds, breaking the championship record previously held by her own training partner, Richardson. She did not lose a single 100-meter race that entire season and entered this meet as the defending Prefontaine champion, having won the year before in 10.75. This season she already had something Richardson didn't yet have, an outright Diamond League victory, having won in Stockholm at 10.84. There's a personal story behind her drive as well. At 17, she saved her own father's life, and she has said she never expects a race to be easy, treating everyone as though she still has something to prove. This wasn't just a two-woman contest, and that's the other reason the outcome was so uncertain. Jamaica's Shericka Jackson, a 5-time Olympic medalist and 2-time 200-meter world champion, was in the field, along with Tanisha Clayton, the reigning 2025 world silver medalist, and her twin sister Tia Clayton. Then there was a wild card nobody could ignore, Adaja Hayes of the British Virgin Islands, who had run 10.63 seconds at the NCAA Championships on the very same track just weeks earlier, making her the 5th fastest woman in history, a college athlete stepping in against full-time professionals for the first time since that breakthrough run. For women in the field had already run in the 10.6-second range that season. The one notable absence was reigning Olympic champion Julian Alfred, who wasn't competing in Eugene. 17 women entered overall, split into 2 preliminary heats, with only the finalists advancing to the 5:29 p.m. Eastern final broadcast on NBC and Peacock. Some of the fastest women in the world were going to be eliminated before the real final even began, and people around the sport described the heats as being as competitive as a championship final. The semifinals only deepened the uncertainty. Richardson ran a strong 10.83 but still finished behind heat winner Tanisha Terry, who posted a world-leading 10.82. Jefferson-Wooden won her own heat, but looked a step off her best, running 10.95. Heading into the final, neither favorite looked unbeatable. In the final itself, Jefferson-Wooden went out fast and built a lead through the middle of the race. Richardson closed hard over the last 30 meters, and for a moment it looked, even to commentators calling it live, as though she might have gotten there. The photo finish told a different story. Jefferson-Wooden won in 10.78 seconds, with Richardson and Terry separated from her by just 1/100th of a second. Analysts pointed to one detail that may have been decisive. Richardson leaned back slightly at the line rather than dipping forward into it, a choice that may have cost her the win by the smallest margin the sport measures. Afterward, Jefferson-Wooden described it as a fight to the finish line, saying she wanted the win more and that she tried to run it like a 120-meter race rather than a 100, focusing on running through the line instead of at it, a mindset she credited for the victory. She also spoke about the depth of the field, calling it humbling and remarkable that it took 2 full heats just to sort through the talent on hand. She talked about a changing of the guard playing out in real time, with new names emerging right alongside veterans finishing out their careers, and said she felt fortunate to be part of a sport moving forward in this way. One number hung over the entire event: the Prefontaine Classic meet record in the women's 100 meters, 10.54 seconds, set by Jamaica's Elaine Thompson-Herah in 2021. That record survived for one more year, but only barely. With this much talent packed into a single race, on a fast track, on a national holiday, that mark now looks more vulnerable than it has in a long time. Heading into the rest of 2026, the picture is this: a 3-2 head-to-head history between 2 training partners, 1/100th of a second separating 3 of the fastest women alive, for women capable of running in the 10.6-second range on any given day, a 5-time Olympic medalist, a reigning world silver medalist, and a college sprinter who just became the 5th fastest woman ever, all in the same field. Nobody, not the commentators, not the athletes themselves, could call this race with certainty before the gun went off, and after watching a photo finish decided by a lean instead of a dip, nobody can confidently predict the next one either. 3 minutes, 43 seconds, and 13/100ths. That's the number, the wall that has stood for 27 years. Hicham El Ghourou of Morocco set it on July 7, 1999, at the Golden Gala in Rome, and in the decades since, no one has come close enough to seriously threaten it. Not the best runners of the 2000s, not the best of the 2010s, not even the fastest men racing today. One man from Edinburgh has decided he's done waiting. His name is Josh Kerr, and on July 18th at the London Diamond League, he intends to go after it. Kerr was born on October 8, 1997, into a rugby family. His father John played professionally, and his older brother Jake followed the same path. Running wasn't supposed to be his sport, but he kept training and improving. And at 16, he started cold emailing college coaches across the United States in search of a scholarship. Most never responded. The University of New Mexico said yes, and at 17 Kerr moved to Albuquerque, roughly 5,000 miles from home, to train at altitude and learn top-level competition. He won 3 NCAA titles there before turning professional ahead of his final college season, signing with Brooks Running and joining the Brooks Beast Track Club in Seattle under coach Danny Mackey, a partnership that would shape the next decade of his career. What followed was one of the steadiest rises in modern middle-distance running. Bronze in the 1,500 meters at the Tokyo Olympics in 2021, a world title in the 1,500 at the 2023 Budapest Championships, where he ran down Jacob Ingebrigtsen on the final straight, in a result few saw coming. A world indoor 2-mile record of 8.67 at the 2024 Millrose Games, breaking Mo Farah's previous mark. At the 2024 Prefontaine Classic, he ran 3 minutes and 45.34 seconds for the mile, breaking Steve Cram's 39-year-old British record, with Cram himself in the broadcast booth, remarking simply that it was about time. Then came Olympic silver in Paris, where his personal best of 3 minutes and 27.79 seconds in the 1,500 would have been an Olympic record had Cole Hocker not also been in the race. Earlier in 2026, at the World Indoor Championships in Torun, Poland, Kerr defended his 3,000-meter title, holding off a challenger by just 0.14 seconds. But the moment that reshaped everything happened between those medals. At the 2025 World Championships in Tokyo, defending his 1,500-meter title, Kerr was bumped inside the pack with 600 meters remaining, overextended his right leg, and tore his calf mid-race, a serious injury in a World Championship final. Most athletes would have stopped. Kerr limped the rest of the way and finished last, in 14th, more than half a minute behind the winner, unable even to climb the stairs afterward to speak with reporters. The crowd in Tokyo gave him a standing ovation simply for finishing. He spent days on crutches, and by November 2025, still recovering. He was already building his entire 2026 season around a single goal, breaking the mile world record. That record carries its own long history. Since World Athletics began officially recognizing it, 6 British men have held the mile world record: Sidney Wooderson, Roger Bannister, Derek Ibbotson, Sebastian Coe, Steve Ovett, and Steve Cram. Bannister became the first person to break 4 minutes for the mile, running 3 minutes and 59.4 seconds in Oxford in May 1954, at a time when scientists genuinely doubted it was physically possible. Ovett ran 3 minutes and 48.40 seconds in August 1981. 2 days later, Coe took the record back at 3 minutes and 47.33 seconds. Then in 1985, Cram ran 3 minutes and 46.32 seconds in Oslo, a mark that stood for 39 years until Kerr broke it in 2024. Cram was the last Briton to hold the record from 1985 until 1993. Kerr wants to become the 7th British man to hold it. He's calling the attempt Project 222 to 222 seconds, or 3 minutes and 42 seconds, aiming not just to edge past the record, but to beat it by more than a full second. He announced the project publicly on March 28 alongside Brooks running. His coach, Danny Mackey, initially proposed a controlled time trial in California under ideal, managed conditions. Kerr turned it down, telling Citius Mag that this wasn't a record that should be taken quietly in the night, but one that deserved a full season built around it. Instead, he chose London Stadium and the Emsley Car Mile at the London Diamond League, in front of 60,000 fans and a global audience. Brooks is building him a custom racing spike engineered around his own foot biomechanics, with foam tuned for 55 second per 400-meter splits and a carbon plate system approved by World Athletics. The team is testing 3 different speed suit designs for aerodynamics and varying weather, while the Brooks Run Research Lab fine-tunes his sleep, hydration, and recovery. 16 people now support the effort, including Mackey, assistant coach Julian Flores, Kerr's wife, his mother, who serves as his head physiotherapist, a mental performance coach, a nutritionist, and a full-time chef, all built around one race, one date, one target number. His personal best sits at 3 minutes and 45.34 seconds, meaning he needs to run 2.21 seconds faster than he ever has in his life. In middle-distance running, 2 seconds is an enormous gap. It's precisely why the record has survived a quarter-century of attempts by the best milers alive. The closest anyone has come since 1999 was Ingebrigtsen's run at the 2023 Prefontaine Classic, missing the mark by 0.603 seconds, itself considered an exceptional performance. Kerr is asking his body to go further than that. But he has built a career on doing what people said couldn't be done. He wasn't supposed to beat Ingebrigtsen in Budapest, and he did. He wasn't supposed to come back from a torn calf to win an indoor world title, and he did. 6 British men have stood where Kerr stands now, each achieving something once thought impossible. On July 18th, inside London Stadium, Josh Kerr will try to become the 7th.